Hello, everybody. Good evening, wherever you're watching. Good afternoon, wherever you are. Good morning, wherever you're seeing this video. How are you guys doing today? I remain your lawyer boy, the Nephilim, the solutionist, the musical artist, the fashion icon, the everything you can think of, and even an stylist. These are the things we've engaged in the past, But now it's the music and instruction. Now it's in the music and we're in the music and creating solution to people, talking about everything that encompasses the word and trying to find a solution to how people live and who people are. So we're today program is gonna be about humanity. Our today's program is gonna be about humanity. Humanity. So you know what we're talking about when we say humanity? You, me, them. We are human. How we behave and how we push, excuse me, how we behave and how we push out our behavior, character is what we define as humanity. What you do. We've talked about numerous programs. We've did a lot of programs. We've done a lot of programs. We talked about different things in the past. Different things in the past about you, who you are, who you should be, how are you. Do you know yourself before you make a search about something, before you search for money, fame, and all of that? Do you know who you are? Do you think you have the capability, the ability to handle what you're looking for? That is who you are. Now we have two faces, or I can differentiate human in two different faces. The first faces is you looking at yourself in the mirror like this is me. If someone come out with your picture and show your picture to you and say, who is this? You will be able to say, oh, now that is me. And of course I know myself. Okay? That is who you are in a physical world. Then who are you? Deep down you. Do you know yourself? Deep down yourself. Do you know yourself? If spiritually, do you know yourself? So when we say who we are in picture, of course definitely everyone will recognize themselves because they know who they are. Okay, now talking about in deeper you. So if you don't know the deeper you and you start looking for something, searching for something, looking for something, you may find that thing along the line. For of course, it is very possible you find that you come across what you're looking for. Very, very possible. But do you have the ability to undo that thing you found? That is the inner you. Were you able to discover yourself before you start looking for something? Before you start searching for something? So when those things comes, when those things you're looking for actually come, how do you handle them? That you need your inner self to handle those stuff you were looking for. So now here they are. Now how do you handle them? So we talk about you knowing yourself before you start searching for something, looking for something, going deeper about life, looking for something. Know yourself. So when those stuff you're looking for actually comes or arrives, you will know how to manage them. You will know how to handle them. That is why we say to people to know who they are before they start looking for something. Know yourself. Find yourself. Know yourself before you start looking for something. So today's program, I'm sorry, I just have to rephrase what we've said in the past about people, about you, before your thing, before we move into this program. Today's program is about humanity. So I just quickly went to rephrase our old programs so we know who we are before we start looking for something. Find yourself, before you find something. Like I said, the program, maybe 2 or 3 programs before now, it says nobody is useless. Your rag is useful when your water is spilled. We understand there? Okay, we have today's program. It's about humanity. What is humanity? What do we understand by the word humanity? Because sometime, every time, we all go to school, but um, there's a lot of things that are being taught in the school that we do not understand. Why? Because when we in the class, we have 4, 5, 6, 7 people, 10 to 20 people, sitting down listening. We get distracted by looking at this person. You get distracted by looking at that person. You get distracted by looking at the teacher sometimes. You get distracted because we have our heart. We have a lot of distraction when we are learning in a group of people. Not everybody can actually learn in a group of people. Not everyone who has the ability to learn with is 4, 5, 6 people. We have some other people who can actually learn when they are sitting all alone. We have people who can learn when they are sitting all alone. They need only one thing, themselves and the brain. So they can learn a lot. You understand? So when we're talking about learning, why we keep teaching people different things, bringing different solutions, it's not because you've not heard about what we're talking about before, but how much do you understand that thing we're talking about? How much do you understand when you were being taught about that thing? How much do you understand? How much did you put your heart when you were being taught about that thing? When you was in school? When we were in school, we were our best student. We will have second best student, third best student. How about the other student? It is not because they are not serious. It is not because they are not good student. It is because they've been distracted. Everybody doesn't have same heart. We don't have same thinking. We don't have same faculty. Okay? We have different mindset when we are learning. So it's not because those other students doesn't know nothing. It's not because they don't know something. It's not because they are not good. It's not because they are bad. It's not because they are bad students. It is because they quickly get swift. Their heart gets swift when they are listening to people. Their heart get distracted when something fly past their eyes. So what we're talking about is when we keep teaching people about different things, it's not because you don't know what we're talking about. It is because how much do you understand what we're talking about? Everybody read Bibles. Everybody read books. We read Qurans. We read different type of books. But how much do we understand those things we are reading? How much do you understand what you're reading? You need someone to appreciate. You need someone to broaden it for you. You need someone to explain more further. When you read, after you're done reading 2, 3, 4, 5 hours in a day, you still want to talk to somebody to tell you about the book you read. It's not because you don't understand. It's not because you don't know how to read. It's not because you're not getting the message, but because you did not have the ability to understand everything you're reading. So we're always on the program to bring more understanding to people, to broad people thinking, to differentiate something, to enlarge our thinking faculty cost. We understand, to make sure what we read yesterday, someone is there today to explain to us. And why did I read something yesterday, but I do not understand what I read? Okay, maybe today when you join the program, you will say, okay, oh, this is exactly the reason why I read yesterday, but I couldn't even grab nothing in my head. Oh, I read a lot yesterday, but I didn't grab nothing. Oh, exactly. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So here you are. We're trying to tell you the reason why you read and it's not stuck in your brain. Why you keep studying and it's not getting to your brain. Okay? Okay, that is not today's program. Today's program is about humanity. When we're talking about humanity, it said the humanity encompasses a vast range of topics exploring the human experience. Listen, humanity encompasses a vast range of topics exploring the human experience from individual and cultural practice to societal structure and global challenges. We understand global challenges. I'm going to read again so you understand what I'm reading. I don't know because a lot of people join and watch our program. We have people in French, we have people in Japanese, we have people in Chinese, we have people in. So that is why sometimes when I read again like 2 or 3 times. So you understand. If you don't understand the first one, you understand the second one, you understand the third one. Okay. So because we have different accent, we have different speaking vocabulary. Okay. Okay. Now we say humanity encompassed a vast range of topics, exploring the human experience, excuse me, human experience from individual and cultural practice to societal structure and global challenge. These topics delve into the nature of humanity, our interaction with each other and the world, and our potential for both goods and harm. I said this thing the last time about interaction. I think the topics came up with in our marriage program. It came up with our marriage program. How we interact with people, how we talk to people, really matters a lot. And that is what makes you human. And how you interact with people is the behavior and the character that delve into you. We understand that delve into you. How you react to people, how you speak to people, how you interact with people, what you say to people really matters. And that is why we talk. That is why we say, it's an honorary person. It talks with a way. It talks with a sense of honor. He has a sense of honor. He has a sense of humility, the sense of humor. Okay? Now you get respected. Okay, I think that was the last program we did. You go and get respect with the way you respect people. You get talked to with the way you talk to people. You get speak to with the way you spoken with people, with the way you talk to people. You will get everything you give back to people. That comes out of your act of humanity. Where you heart of that comes out of who you are. And how you are is how you interact with people. But who you are will come out from how you are. Okay? Okay, now we go. It's a human nature. The number one thing I think, human nature. What defines us as human being? This includes exploring topics like empathy, morality, and the capacity for love and violence. Read again. What defines us as human being? This includes exploring topics like empathy, morality, and the capacity for love and violence. Okay, when we talk about nature, what do we understand about nature? That goes back to who we are and how we interact with people. When you try to explore yourself, like you were born in Europe, and this is how you're being brought up. This is what you know. These are the things you know. These are the things you know. These are the things you were taught. Do you know you may need to travel other places to understand how they were taught, what they were taught, how they were brought up, the nature, the background, the people. Do you know you need to keep learning to know that what you was told was not bad until you go to the other places to learn what they were told, until you travel to other country to learn about what they were told and how they were told the story. You and I could be told the same story, but in a different ways. But how do you get to know? You need to get to those places. Now, this is what we call nature, our natural being. Getting to places, knowing something, how we speak, how we talk, what we know, and how we use what we know. Naturally, nature. It said what defines us as human. This includes exploring topics like empathy. We explore this conversation, empathy. Because if you don't tell me who you are, maybe you don't get to hear from me who I am. So we explore our talking ability. You talk to people, you ask questions. How are you? How has been doing? How are you doing? How is being done in your country? What is being done in your country? What is your history? What is your history? When you ask people questions, you get to answer them when they ask you. Same thing. When you ask people questions, you definitely respond when they ask you same question. So when you ask me question, I tell you about me. I mean, want to ask you question to know about you too. So this exploring ourselves verbally. Sometimes maybe I don't have to go to your country to learn about your country, but maybe you're from that country, I'm from this country, and we're fortunate to meet each other in one country. So how do I get to know about your country now? Without being there, without having been there. I need to speak to you about my country. Then you tell me about your country. How do I get to know about what is happening in your lifestyle? If I don't speak to you about what is happening in my lifestyle, then I need to talk to you about me. That is why he said exploring empathy. Topic like exploring like empathy, morality, and the capacity for love. And don't forget, we said in our some of our programming the parts that say before anything at all, before anything or the first thing you have to do is to make sure you love somebody. Maybe we don't teach, like I said, we would never teach about religion and stuff, but you gotta teach people about love. And someone loves you, there is this communication that comes in between them because we love each other. We will be able to talk to each other because we like each other. So do not create enmity. Always be notification. There will be information. There will be talks. There will be, friendship. So like that is what this thing is saying. It's a morality and the capacity for love and violence. We know these two words work together. If there is no violence, there is no love. If there's no love, there's no violence. So I hope we understand what that thing say about nature. I think I've said something about it. We can copy one or two things about it. That is why you have to listen to the program over and over to understand. Because I say, when we are reading, we don't even understand what we are reading sometimes because our head and our mind switch. And when your mind switch, everything you're reading just go by the side. Maybe again, you may need to read the paragraph or the chapter again before you copy it and be like, oh, no, now I got it. Now I got it. So taking a book and reading a book doesn't mean you're reading to understand or you're reading or you're copying everything the same time you're reading it. Okay, no. You may need to read, and read again. So when we drop a program, you don't have to watch once. Maybe you're watching right now as well, or it's a live program where you're watching right now. And after this live program, you go sit back there, go to my YouTube channel and listen to those things. Okay, I think, okay, I did not copy this thing when we were saying those things. Okay, I couldn't copy because my mind was switched. Maybe someone called you. Maybe someone tried to ring you and your mind switched. So that is why we are supposed to always take our time, listen and listen again. This is why we never stop teaching. So you are no excuse. You don't have no excuse for not listening or reading and reading again. Thank you. So it's a culture. Now, under the humanity, now we're still on the key area of explore. We're still on the key areas of exploration. Culture, now culture in society. This is in humanity. How you present yourself when you're in a societal setting. It's a culture and society. Examine the diverse range of cultural expression, social structure, and power dynamics that shape human society. It says, examine the diverse range of cultural expression. Okay, cultural expression, societal, social structure, and power dynamic that shape human societies. What do we understand by culture and society? Like what I said before the program started. Like know yourself and how you heard, who you heard, where to talk, where not to talk, where to speak, and where not to speak. Okay, like I said, something like that. It says examine the diverse range of cultural expression. When you find yourself somewhere, how do you mingle? How do you interact? How do you come in? How will you welcome? How will you be welcome? That is where culture in society came in. Examine the diverse range. When you get somewhere, you examine what it is and how the place is, and you examine the people, how they talk, what they're talking about. We got to learn how to dive into conversation, most especially in a societal gathering. Okay? So we don't get to feel we are less of a person. Like I said, the last program or two before last, they said, respect yourself so you could be respected. He said, when you respect yourself, you get the same thing in return from people. That is it. So, human development is a tracing the evolution of humanity from our prehistoric ancestor to the present day, including development of language, technology, and social organization. This humanity will never cease to talk about exploring potential and it never cease to talk about society and organization, because everything I wrote here kept talking back about society. How does humanity fit into society? How do we fit into society? What do we get and what do we contribute? How do you contribute? How are you seen in the society? What are you seeing us in the society? Because he never stopped talking about society. Now this is saying tracing the evolution of humanity from our prehistoric ancestors to the present day, including the development of language, technology, and social organization. What does that tell us? It tells you that is human development, how you develop yourself, how you going to develop yourself. These are the things that makes you, these are the things you can develop yourself with. These are the how human are developing. These are the things they do to develop. How we create language, how we interact with people, how we talk to people, how we create technology, how we speak in a society, in an organization. So when we're talking about humanity, it has a lot to do about society, organization, interaction, communication. It goes a very long way. It's not only about developing humanity. It's not only about you as a person. It's about inner you as a person, okay? It's not only about you as a person. It's about the inner you as a person. Inner you as a person. That is what we call humanity. The act of human to other people. Act of human to the society, to the community, to the groups, to the friends, family, wives, husband. Your heart, your act to people is they say we call it act of humanity. Act of humanity. Oh, he's a very good man. He's a very good man. He's very, very useful to the society. He's very, very good to the community. That is when your humanity speak, where you are not present. That is when your humanity speak. Your humanity is just like your shadow. It is where you were not. Or it walk behind you as you walk forward. So we should better work on that thing. This is very, 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 very important. Very, very important. Okay. Now we have social issue as humanity, as in our humanity program, we have social issue addressing processing problem facing humanity, such as poverty, inequality, and conflict, and exploring potential solution. Do you copy that? Do you understand there? It's a social issue, what you may face and what could happen and what may face you is addressing processing problem facing humanity, okay? Such as poverty, inequality, and conflict, and exploring potential solution. Now, here in my book, it said, what I'm going to say is this whole thing is something. Now, when we talk about social issue, I think this is what we create as human, but and humanity have to suffer it. These are the things we create because my shadow and your shadow never create wealth. My shadow and your shadow never create poverty. It is people. Now, this is people creating something that humanity have to suffer from. Or people, let's say, maybe not humanity, let's say people have to suffer from. Because when we're talking about poverty, it said facing humanity, social poverty and inequality. We say we have inequality in a race because everybody cannot be the same. We understand that everybody cannot be like the same. Like our fingers are different. So everybody's not gonna be like when we talk about inequality, everybody's not gonna be the same. So I think we shouldn't talk about these things, this particular one so deep, because he say such as poverty and inequality and conflict. And what will bring the conflict? It is when people are poor and they feel they're unequal with the other people. There will be conflict. Definitely, there will be conflict. Conflict of interest, conflict of this, and conflict of that. There will definitely be conflict because something, someone somewhere feels something is not right. Someone somewhere feels something is you better than not. Like I read something yesterday. Someone say. With time, we will be able to question God. Why would someone have 10 cars and someone can't even afford tires? And I think so much about, I read about that thing and I went deep and deep and deep into it. But like I said, we don't talk about God and God and religion on our program. And that is a very good question. How we create, so the equality actually came from who created the whole world. So he knew and understand everything is set up. Because you imagine some people have 50 houses, 70 houses, 80 houses, 100. Some people have 100 houses. And then we have some people homeless. That is inequality. Okay? That is poverty. Created by human. That is the act of humanity. That is what they give to humanity. That is what they created. These are the things them created. You want to create something good, so for people to say your act is good to humanity, some people want to create the other side. That is why you say this part of the word, this part of the word say, um, okay, I have the art of humanity, and conflict and exploring potential solution. No, that is not it. It's there's a place that say, okay, I think I missed that part. Reflecting on the fundamental question. No, no. Okay, addressing, processing, facing humanity, social poverty, and inequality, and conflict. It's a conflict. The conflicts we come. Why someone feel I am not up to the task, or I'm not where I'm supposed to be, then he get angry necessarily. Meanwhile, whoever created us, the God that created us, knew, and it's very, very certain. He knew He created some people above some people. So when you're being homeless and someone is having hundreds and thousands of houses somewhere and thousands of cars in his yard, and someone can't even afford to eat, that is inequality. And it will definitely bring the conflict. So these are the things that human beings don't even process in their brain, but they fight about something. I don't know what you're fighting for. I don't know what you're fighting about. We should be fighting the person that created us and did not put equal, that did not make everybody equal. Do we understand? That did not make everybody equal. Okay, we're just going to jump away from that part and move to the other part. the human coalition, reflecting on the fundamental question of life, death, meaning, and purpose, and exploring the human search for happiness and fulfillment. Okay, I'm going to read this part again because this has to do about death. It says, reflecting the human condition. These are the things that is very pivotal that we going to face, something that we're going to face as human. Okay, it say reflecting on the fundamental question of life, death, meaning, and purpose, and exploring the human search for happiness and fulfillment. I always say something, oftentimes saying, if human beings don't die, we will know so much about life, and we will know a lot about our ancestors. We will know about God, and we will know a lot of things about. So I think that is one secret that is being given to humanity. For when you die with everything in your brain. So you're not telling something. You were here today. So in the next 500 years, nothing of your history will be remembered. Now everything you know 500 years back is being erased. And if there's any book you wrote somewhere today, like the program we're making today now, in 500 years to come, if someone is fortunate to find them on the internet, if then there will be internet, if someone is fortunate to find about it, then we'll say, oh, there was a man who said something like that. But there will not be a witness because there's nobody that's going to live for 500 years. Not again. So there will be no witness, but there will be handwriting, there will be books, there will be records. So humanity have to suffer this thing. These are the condition that come with us, that come with humanity. These are the things we have to bear with. These are the things we have to suffer from. These are the things we have to give back to. Number one of them is death. We understand, reflecting on the fundamental question of life, death, meaning and purpose of exploring the human search for happiness and fulfillment. Um, because remember when you're searching for everything, when you're looking for everything, when you're trying to get everything, one thing will come, death. And it only happened to what? Humanity. Death have never happened to nature because death cannot kill nature. It only happened to humanity. We understand there. I think we need to understand when we, like I said before we started this program. I said understand what you're looking for before you start a session. Because when you find that thing, how are you going to handle it? How do you handle it? So we have the human condition. Now I've been talking about heart of humanity. This is it. Analyzing the role of art, literature, music, like the thing I do, music, okay, music, and other cultural form of in shaping human understanding and expression. You guys want me to read it again? The heart of humanity, analyzing the role of heart, A-R-T, not A-C-T, okay? The heart, literature of literature, music, and other cultural form in shaping human understanding and expression. Okay, what do we understand better? Because as human, we are what we do for each other to make each other happy, feeling glamorous, enjoying the lifestyle, the nature, the water, the sun, So then we come up with music because I've never seen a dog or a goat singing. This is humanity. This is a part of our uh, this is part of our ability or the part of what we give to the nature to flow. This is the part of our of us being a creature humanly, part of us being a creature humanly. So we do stuff like literature, like in research, traveling, hiking, doing something like that, writing books, following history, getting history, writing history, and we do something like music to lift our spirit, like I do. as an artist, to lift people's spirit, to talk to people, to deliver message. Oh, yeah, music can be defined in a multiple way, but we're not going to talk about that today. To lift people's spirit, to talk to people, to speak to people, to deliver message, to lift people's spirit, to talk to deliver messages, to cause, to abuse, to fight. Because to us, music is like our weapon. When we cannot use gun, we can use a knife. We can use cutlasses, we can use weapon, we can use music to speak, to raise, to act, to help, and you know, to do different kind of thing. So that is act of nature. Oh, sorry, act of humanity. Act of humanity. It help you another cultural form in shaping human understanding and expression. Because when we sing, we try to tell you we try to change your thinking faculty with our music, with what we say from our mouth. That is why he said understanding in shaping human understanding and expression. How you express yourself. Okay, this program today was much about humanity. Really, my book is full. Okay, technology and humanity. Examine the impact of technology on human life, from its potential to enhance our life to its potential to cause harm or disrupt our societal, our social structure, our social structure. It's a examine. This is technology and humanity. Okay, listen carefully. Examine the impact of technology on human life, from its potential to enhance our life to its potential to cause harm or disrupt our social structure. This is technology in humanity. When we talk about war, one country is fighting the other person. Of course, it is what they mode, the ammunition, the weapon, the stuff to disrupt our social structure. When bomb is being sent from one country to the other, and rocket is being sent from one to the other, and missiles is being sent from one to the other, to disrupt our social structure. Social structure, your cars, house, your building, your water, your swimming pool, stuff like that. But it's still human that build something that destruct those things. So sometimes when we talk about humanity, uh, I say you God create, human destruct. Because sometimes when someone kills someone, he say, and somebody's gonna talk about it, he say his time is up. Was the reason he got killed. God created that person, but God never killed him. But human being like himself killed him or her. And we're going to blame him and angry to God? No, that is crazy. We're going to blame somebody. We're going to blame God for someone who killed someone, for someone who mashes someone, for someone who disrupts someone. Something that God created. God created the nature, and somebody disrupted. And we're going to say God wanted like that. How do you mean God wanted like that? Huh? We ain't gonna talk about that. Let's keep talking about humanity. We ain't gonna go into politics. Talking deep, get you where you don't want to go sometimes. It's the ethics and morality. The ethics and morality, exploring the principles that guide human behavior and the value that shape our interaction with each other and the world. Ethics and morality. I think I already explained this in the first when we started the program. I explained this because exploring the principle that guide human behavior. I talked about behavior and how you're going to know about you, your country, my world, your world, my life, your life. My who I am and who you are. If we don't interact with each other, there's no way I get to know you. There's no way I get to understand you. There's no way I get to understand nothing about you. We need the interaction, the communication, conversation. So I think I already highlighted that particular page or that particular paragraph somewhere there. So the environmental and humanity. analyzing the relationship between human and the natural world, including the impact of our activity on the environmental and the importance of sustainability. Analyzing this relationship between human and the natural world, including the impact of our activities, the environmental, and the importance of sustainability. How do we sustain the environmental hazard? You see, this whole thing revolves around the same person, the same thing, humanity. These are the things we will cause by what we eat. When we say environmental hazard, and some people complaining about it, it's still the same thing that human caused. There's no demon or angel that had something from heaven and throw it here. There's nobody from heaven that said they want to go to the space to see what the space look like. There's no devil that come from the hell for it and he came here with brimstone. No. It is something that we always create that always give us back something, maybe something we don't like in return. When human creates something and that thing give you back something, you're going to start complaining about it. Oh, I don't even like this. I don't even want this. It shouldn't be like that. It is something you did that gave you something in return. It is a lifestyle that people are not trying to understand. I think, okay, let's say people understand, but who don't want to accept the word they don't want to accept, or the word you don't want to live in. Humanity. When I'm talking, anytime, each time, whenever I'm on a program, I usually emphasize about the topic. I don't know if I'm being too deep about my program, because when I think about something, I go deep. I talk about it. I'm thinking someone somewhere should understand the same way I understand. But I'm thinking maybe not everybody understand the same way I understand. When we talk about humanity, the damage we cause, the damage human cause, the same human we complain about. Why is this thing happening? Meanwhile, someone like you caused the damage. I'm trying to understand it. I'm really trying to understand. Okay. Um, the environmental stuff and the importance of sustainability, I think you know how to sustain yourself when those things comes, the environmental and humanity, when those things come, you know how to sustain yourself. You know what to do, wash your hand, you know what to do, eat clean food, you know what to do, being in a clean area, clean environment, clean, because the society is what it is here in Europe is the same thing there in Asia. It is the same thing there in Africa. It is the same thing there everywhere. Okay, so it is always same thing because human beings are everywhere. So our heart of humanity will always surface in everything we do. It will always surface. So there's no difference. The only difference we are is how we manage our self, how we manage our, how we sustain ourselves, and how we manage ourselves, how we manage our heart of humanity. Okay, the last part for the today program on my book says human right, advocating for the protection of fundamental human right and freedom for all individuals. It said advocating for the protection of fundamental human right and freedom for all individuals. When human heart, the woman is still gonna be there to defend. That is where human right comes in. When someone do something wrong, you did something wrong, you still need someone to come defend you for doing something wrong. Do we understand? So this is something we call humanity. It will never go away for as long as we live. Do we understand? It will never go away for as long as we live. Um, for today's program, it was much longer. Why is it longer? It's because we're talking about human. Because human do and undo. We do a lot of things. A whole lot of things. Human can do and undo. So that is why today's program is much longer. And I would really I appreciate everyone who have joined this program for today. For those who have not joined or who was not here to see the program, I will advise you guys to be on our YouTube channel for as much as possible. I'm very sorry if today's program is very long, but I know some people will still watching no matter how long it is because they love us, they love the program, and they love what we always say to them. And we have people we have impacted, we have people we have helped, we have people we have spoke to, we have people we have changed their thinking faculty, mentality, the thinking, the background. So with our program, we will never stop talking because it's a solutionist program. We always talk about everything and we always bring up solution. Our solution doesn't mean it is your solution, okay? It could be our solution, but you may pick something from us and you had what you have, little you have from your soul, you had to it, and it's going to give you a better result. Thank you everybody for joining this program for today, and I really appreciate you. We bring it to this program to an end, and I say to you, have a lovely day. Good morning from wherever you're watching. Good afternoon and good evening from wherever you're watching. We love you so much. We love you so much. I remain your boy, your celebrity, solutionist, and a musician. I love you so much. Goodbye and goodbye for the day. We'll see you tomorrow when we host another program. I love you so much.